Live.
Welcome to Still Talking Uncut. I'm your host, Big Easy, joined by my co-host, Sean Rigsby.
With the
Special,
working headphones.
Sean's got everything working tonight. It's going to be a good night. We got our man, Mr. Tim Johnson from Vermilion, Ohio, master
What's
distiller,
up, everybody?
contestant, hell of a distiller right here with us tonight, man. So I'm really looking forward to listening to you speak. Welcome to the show, my man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be on here. How you all doing today?
Pretty good. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, pretty good. It's getting cold up here, I'll tell you.
Here too.
I think we woke up about 40 degrees this morning.
Yeah, we're supposed to get our first frost tonight.
Yeah.
In our area, we're getting our first frost tonight.
It's nice for it to cool down, but man, I'm not looking forward to what comes after this.
Right, yeah. I'm ready to be a snowbird and fly south for the winter,
Hey, we should all just throw in on a Shiner property down in I guess southern Florida. We'll go down there in the wintertime. We'll just make shine and lay on the beach during
It'd be like a
6 months. So yeah.
It'd be like a Shiner's camp.
Yeah, that's right. We'll call it a militia.
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 They'll be like, that's the sorriest militia ever. Them motherfuckers is just drunk laying around all the damn time. Like, ain't fighting off nobody. Like, yeah, man, hey, man, they'll party with us. We'll get them drunk. That's our tactical advantage, So,
hell yeah.
Be grateful we're here. So, all right. I've seen you tipping some stuff up over there, Mr. Johnson. What you drinking on?
I got a little bit of some corn liquor that I grew from corn in the garden myself.
Oh. He turned. He froze a little bit.
I'm glad I'm not the one with technical difficulties this evening.
He's probably gonna have to back out and come back in. All right, what you drinking on over there, Sean? Or should I go first?
Go ahead, man.
All right, I'm drinking on some Sean's Bloodline infused berry Sugarlands right here. I finally went outside and
got something else.
Yep. He
he
left. He was here. Shoot him a message, Sean, and say just back out and come back in because he wasn't real sure about the technological part. But all right, he's back.
Okay,
welcome back, brother.
But yeah, I'm just drinking some peach. Well, actually, it's all things peach tonight. If we're being honest, I got the cheap peach water. I got the old.
Welcome back, Tim. Can you hear us?
We can't hear you if you can hear us.
Nope.
Oh, I bet you I can turn his mic on. Nope, it's already on. And also, I guess while we're waiting on him to figure that out.
Yeah, I would imagine, Tim, you just have to leave and go click on the link Sean sent you and come back in.
Old Tucking Reds. Here, let me...
But... All right. So glad to have you all here tonight. It's been got a birthday party coming up this weekend. I hope to see a lot of y'all here. I know quite a few folks in the comment section, and a lot of buddies are going to come in. So this Saturday, it's a Moonshiner Bash birthday party at my place. If you want to come, you better come on. So
I thought it was Ghost Patriot.
That was Tim Johnson, master distiller. Damn, Bennett. I was hoping to see you. If you can't make it, I understand. I know Hooch can't make it this year. I'm going to miss him. So I'll have to get out there and see him. So,
yeah, I need to go over there and see Hooch, man.
Yeah. Hopefully he's got this figured out.
I hear something.
Yeah, boy. I know, Bennett. I know. I appreciate you coming last year. And I'll FaceTime you.
Can you?
Yeah, we can hear you now. You do need to come pick up your cake, Bennett.
Just a short drive, Bennett.
Yeah, it's just a short drive, man. It's not that only 8 hours. That is a hell. So it's gonna be a good time.
Is that how we doing there, John Miller? Glad to see you, buddy.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thanks
man.
for support. Hey, what's going on, Tim? Nice to see you.
Yeah. We can't hear you. I think you turned your mic off. No. Oh. No. We don't hear you. Yeah, it's hey, you can fly into if you fly into Dayton International Airport, I will pick you up. I'm just letting you know. You fly into Dayton International Airport, I'll pick you up. You know, I'll give you a ride to the hotel and to the party. Or if you want to toss the tent up outside, go ahead. So it's a little late for that now, LeMasters.
Yeah, no shit. He just disappeared and he's posting pictures. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like he didn't even let us know.
Yeah,
he didn't let us know he was going down there because he knows we'd ask you for shit. So
there's Sturge.
We still can't hear you, Mr. Johnson. So what'd you say you was drinking on? Some Tucking Reds?
Yeah, man. So yesterday. So we had to go down to Cincinnati for one of Jenny's cheer games, or sideline cheer games. So on our way back, they done that sip and smoke thing over at Tucking Reds.
Oh, Tucking Red, yeah, American whiskey set up. And I was watching a podcast. I thought about going, but I couldn't get past having to put pants on and leave the house and not watch football. So I was like, bro, it's Sunday.
Yep.
I ain't leaving the house.
So, I had to pick my son up at 6. So I was like, well, do I drive all the way home, turn around and drive an extra, 45 minutes to go back and get him? I was like, nah, they're going to be there at Tucking Red. So I stopped there, and like as soon as I got there, I was there for like 15 minutes, man. Everybody left. So it was just me and Tuck. But it was cool, Nice. We sat around bullshitted and everything and learned some things and
hey man,
told some things.
Always learning.
Yeah.
We can hear you now. I wonder if he's having an internet issue.
Well, I think he's on his phone.
Okay. But and Seaverville's still 5 hours from you, Bennett. So that would have done him no good.
I didn't realize he was that far.
Yeah. I think he's in like mid-lower. So, can you hear us yet, Tim? I would say no.
Turn your mic. There, can you hear us now? Well, never mind. That was his mic.
Yeah, I tell you, when he first came in, we could hear him, and he turned his phone sideways. We couldn't hear him no more. So I'm not sure what the problem he's having. Yeah, it happens. This ain't ain't the first time we've dealt with production issue. It's usually your fault. We're blaming Sean. Yeah, I know Sean's probably looking and sounding good tonight. Got the microphone, the headphones. Big shout out to Big Sturge. Hooked him up, So I imagine old Tim's gonna give up soon. I don't blame him. I would. I'd be frustrated. But wonder if he's just having a service problem. Yeah. Which one is that?
Peach.
The peach cobbler.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got one of them. So yeah, you're right, Bennett. I picked up one of them last time I was out there. We stopped and we went out a few weeks ago. It was like, he let me try. He's always got a different slushy going on, man. Let me try the orange one. I was like, bro, that tastes like Tang, and it was amazing. Hard to go wrong with a little slushy.
Over at Tucking Reds?
Yep. Yeah, a few weeks ago we stopped out by there, so it was a good time. Good time. Can't ever go wrong, Moonshine slushies, and then grab you a jar for the road. So
there you go. You can't.
Always a good time.
Let's see.
Matt, they updated some things on this. Nice.
Huh?
Nice. I'm just checking things out. So I imagine you're going to show up Saturday late, but you'll be here.
Yes, I will certainly be there. I'm not guaranteeing the time on anything. I'm just letting you know.
My man, hey, that you should roll that way more often. With every aspect of your life, like I don't know what time I'll be there, but I'll be there. All right, don't turn your phone, Tim, and I think we're good.
Can you hear us?
No.
That's what I did. I messed it up.
All right, well, you can hear us now.
No.
Nope, I don't think you can hear us.
All right, I think I can. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Nice. Yeah, just don't turn
A
it.
little harder to see me now.
It's all right. We'll just give you the Sean treatment.
didn't know
Less
that.
is
All
more.
right.
So I don't know. Usually we tell people to turn it, but
All right,
whatever. We're here. We're here. We're just getting started. Welcome to Still Talking Uncut. I'm your host, Big Easy.
The ugly one.
It's awesome.
So what are you drinking on tonight, Tim?
Yeah,
All right, sorry
that's where
about
we
that.
was. No, you're all good. So, hey, we've dealt with a lot worse. Shit happens. We're here. Let's ride it while we can.
I got a little corn where I grew and scratch that I made.
What kind of corn is it?
Tonight. We all. Oh, I lost him again.
Yeah, I don't think Tim's internet's going to hang up. Are you running your cell phone on your Wi-Fi or your cellular service? We can't hear you.
I don't
again.
think he knows.
Maybe try cell service, or maybe try the. I'm not 100% sure. Your audio. Hey, you're right, John. It is good seeing him with a mic.
Where you been, John?
I start shit all over myself. It's got me. It happens. So. What we talking about, Sean? Oh yeah, I don't know what time, but maybe possibly I'll be there. You're right. That should be Sean's go-to motto from now on. Yeah, I don't think Tim's internet's gonna allow all of the
Above.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
Well, where you want to go with this?
Yeah, we just go shoot shit, man. You know, like.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Hold on.
It. Yeah, I don't think it's too much. Remember, we dealt with this. We had a couple. It happens.
But you know what? They always have been able to connect. The funny thing is, you would never think in a million years it'd be someone in Ohio.
Hey, so I had went up. He says he's in Vermilion. I had went up not far from him and picked up a bunch of peaches. I picked up like 100 pounds of peaches from up by him. And I took the turnpike for the first time. And them some bitches in Ohio make you drive on that damn turnpike. That is the biggest load of crap I've ever seen in my life. Do better, Ohio. You're going to make me, you're going to charge me. I got to get on. And then however far I drive on it, you got to charge me when I get off. And then the same way coming back. Like, man, I drive on 70 and 75 without paying anything. You're going to get me on the 90 and 80 through turnpike through Ohio. That's crap. Damn Ohio. I'm upset about that. And like it's just nothing up there. It's just flat. And I'm like, oh, this is trash. And it was like $12 to drive like 2 hours on it. And I was like, that's ridiculous, man. Yeah. Oh, it's super money racket, you know. And then like when you're driving up there, I didn't see any state highway patrolmen sitting on the road. It's border patrol, you know, from the Canada border. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. because they ain't used to that where we're from. Like it ain't like that down here. I don't go up to Northern Ohio. I stay as far away from Michigan as possible, just out of principles. But it was crazy, to take that drive and have to. It's just one big long toll road, and it stretches all. I want to say almost the whole way across Ohio. And I was upset they got me for like $25 for a 4-hour round trip.
$25?
Well, it was $12. Well, it was $10 there, and then it was $12 back. And I didn't get that because I went the same exact distance.
Yeah.
But they charged me $2 more on the way back than I did on the way there. Maybe it's because I stopped for gas. And like, dude, it was crazy. So like, you're driving, right? And if you get off this turnpike to go to any city along the way, you got to pay. And then you got to get back on. And you got to pay again when you get back off. But they had like service centers along the way. Like you could pull off and like there would be a gas station and there would be a little restaurant, like a Burger King or something. There would be a few other things. And it's like, dude, all these people, all these places are on, and they just like, you can't get off. Like you get off there and you don't got to pay. And it's like, what a business motto. Like, ha, ha, ha. If you're going to stop here because you ain't stopping nowhere else.
That's right.
I agree, Sean. We do have there's such a huge group of beer, wine distillers, still builders, farmers. Like for a small, okay. Well, Kimberly, he gets it charged and turned back on. He's more welcome to hop back in. We're just going to hang out, and we'd love for him to try to get back in here if he can. And if not, we'll try it again a different day. We're flexible.
Thanks for tuning in tonight, Tom.
Yeah, we appreciate all y'all. You run some Apple Mountain Brandy tomorrow, Bennett? Man, I love some Mountain Brandy. Haven't done the apple yet. I'm intrigued how you can get that apple to come through because it's faint, man. Right. Quit pushing. Now, Jason, I think Bennett needs a keg from Ohio. That's been like 10 years or something like that. So
I think more like 11.
11.5. But it was crazy because I've lived in Ohio my whole life, and I don't go up Northern Ohio very often, and it was just wild to experience that. And I've lived here, and I'm like, man, these sons of bitches just stole $25 from me to drive down the road. That's crazy. I was upset, mad at Ohio. So nice, good times. So I guess a little different, So, anything going on, Sean?
Man,
you'd like to talk about?
That I would like to talk about?
Sure.
I mean,
got any information to impart? I don't know. Somebody asked us some questions. How you doing, Stuart? You should have been here last week, Stuart.
Stuart, my man.
Oh, shit. Man. That's right. At least it's paid for.
Come on in, Stuart. You want to come in?
I think Tim's trying to charge. We'll give him a little longer. So good evening, Stephanie. Appreciate y'all. So, yeah, having a party this weekend. I imagine there's going to be about 15, 20 Shiner guys, mainly from Ohio here. I know Hooch can't make it this year and Bennett can't make it. So we're going to have to send them pictures about what they missed out on. I Photoshop them in the group picture, though.
So who all is going to be able to make it? Do you know?
I don't know. I invited everybody. We'll see. I'd imagine our mains. I think old Judd's going to come over. The Masters, you, and Noble's going to be here. And old Son's going to be here. It's at my house, Silk Hot. You come on up if you want, bro.
Yeah, stay. We'll
Hell,
it'll be a good time.
Slap together a still building class Saturday morning. Let's get it done. We'll build stills, watch a Ohio State game, and then we'll have a party, man. Hey, he was on time today. We started at 9 p.m. on the dot. So,
yeah, I actually had it set up, and I had invites sent out, and I had went upstairs because I needed something to drink.
Yeah.
Can't do it my way in one day. Hey, man, all you got to do is butt solder them. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's butt solder that shit, man. Hey, Saturday and Sunday, you know. Hey, you know, I never turned down a jar there, Tom. So it could be a 2-day event, Brian. I mean, we might be a little iffy on Sunday, but you know,
Or we can
let's get it
start on
done.
Friday. My birthday's on Friday.
If it rains, I got a barn. We'll be all right. So nah, we ain't got to do it. You want to come up and hang out, man? Everybody's welcome. We're gonna have a good time. It's just gonna be love and you know and moonshiners, man. We ain't making liquor. We ain't running liquor. We're just gonna talk a lot of liquor, and everybody's gonna bring stuff. We're gonna try it. My mom's making a big old pot of chili. Old son, his old lady's gonna make cornbread, jalapeno cornbread. Man, it's gonna be right. So I don't know. If Brian comes, man, we definitely talking about butts. So oh man, good times. And I'm sure we'll have some stories, you know. I know last year when Hooch and them came up, Hooch and Bennett, I took them out to Indian Creek. And I'm sure he's talking about you, Sean.
As always.
As always. See my Halloween glass and my Halloween glass.
I like that.
I was hoping they'd come up this year. We was going to see about taking them to a couple different ones.
Yeah. Did you guys go ahead.
We went to Indian Creek last year. This year I was going to take them out to Tucking Reds.
That's what I was going to ask if you guys went to Tucking Reds last year.
Ohio State's hosting Purdue this weekend, Silcott.
Hey, look who's back.
Welcome back.
Ah, man.
Your phone died. That might have been the problem you was having.
Well, no, it was my phone just went completely dead. It was charged. I don't know. I got the wife's phone now.
Nice. And you know the wife's phone's going to work great. So
yeah.
Welcome back to the show.
I'm gold. Hey, thanks for having me back.
Hey. You know, like I said, we're resilient around here.
I started a panic.
It's all good. You know, we figure it out. Figure worst case scenario, we keep it going, and then if you couldn't make it back, we try it again another time, man. You know, but we're glad to have you back. So,
all right, thanks.
So for the third time going, it's a charm. What you drinking on?
Yeah, what you drinking on? Oh, maybe we shouldn't ask that question. That's where it went south every time.
Well, that's the corn I grew in my garden. It's the Hickory King corn moonshine I made.
You know, I have not had Hickory King to my knowledge.
Oh yeah, I would say I'd give you enough to make a 5-gallon bucket, but that'd be a waste.
You're damn right it would.
I got 3 different kinds growing this year. I got the Hickory King and a Bloody Butcher and a Jimmy Red going.
Nice.
Now I gotta ask. Speaking of corn that you said you grew on your own or whatever, I do remember seeing a post on Facebook where I believe somebody stole your guys' corn.
Oh yeah.
What? Oh no! Somebody stole your corn.
Oh yeah, the neighbor come running over and told us, and I'm like, I said he thought he was getting some sweet corn. He goes and grabs that Hickory Cat stuff's hard as a rock. He gets it home. He might have broke a tooth out trying to eat it.
Damn! And now I know where Phil Billy got all that dumpster corn at. Fuck! Phil Billy went up and stole Tim's corn, asshole. So when you did that, did you dry it or did you mash it while it was still fresh, right off the cob?
No, I let it dry on the plant. Then I go and pull it. Then I got a sheller that shells it off.
Okay.
So it's pretty well dried after. I usually do it after the first frost.
Nice. See, I was wondering because some people will mash it fresh, while it's still wet.
Yeah, this stuff's too hard now. I could have done that before, but that's a lot of work.
It is, getting it off the cob, and that's why I was just wondering if you had done it like that, because I had other questions. But
yeah, I bought one of them big old shellers that you throw, man. It's got the big wheel on it.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It takes it right off the cob. It's
right
not
off, huh? Can't beat that at all. So, what'd you just pour in the glass? You poured something different.
That's some of that bourbon I made out there from that corn too.
Nice. Did you age it in a barrel? Did you use spirals, chunks, chips?
I used chips. I quick aged it with the chips, but I left it in there probably 2 weeks.
Yeah, toasted or charred?
They were charred.
So I got a question. So since you say you done it with chips, you say?
Yeah.
Have you ever macerated split vanilla beans in it after you were done?
No, I've never done that with vanilla beans.
Are you talking putting vanilla beans in your barrel?
No.
No, or are you just talking? I didn't mean your barrel. I meant in your jar with your chips. Is that what you're talking, Sean?
Like, well, after he takes the chips out and everything, just throw the vanilla beans in there for a while.
Just throw like a whole vanilla bean in.
I don't know. The reason the reason I ask is because when we were down there, I was working with Greg. He was telling me at Sugar Lanes that's how they make the roaming man. They'll age it, they'll pull it out, and then they'll macerate vanilla beans in it for like 24 hours, I think.
Ah.
Yeah, I've never had it, but I figured I don't think it would taste bad.
Huh.
Hey man, vanilla, man, it's hard to go wrong, you know.
Yeah.
I like vanilla pretty much on anything. It pairs well. I mean, you know, in a drunk stupor, I might have drinking imitation vanilla straight from the container. I won't deny or confirm that, but you know, like vanilla's awesome.
I have.
See, I'm not the only one. Hell yeah!
I got to try it first.
I'll confirm. But it was like half the bottle, dude. It was brutal.
Mine was like just touching the lips kind of thing.
I was really drunk, and I'm like, hey, you can't see what it tastes like by a sip, man. You can get a chug or two. You gotta feel it. You gotta feel it inside your body, man. You gotta know. So, but anyway, tell us a little bit about yourself, Tim, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I'm retired. I worked 33 years at Ford, and I just couldn't take it anymore. So I decided just to retire and start messing around with some distilling. And it goes way back in my family. It goes back 5 generations in my family. So I had to like pick it back up though, because it skipped a generation.
Okay. I could see that, you know, I mean, it happens, but you know, well, did you know about it as a kid, or is it something that you learned about as an adult, or as a teenager when you got older?
Well, I learned it more like later on in life because my mom was so against it because her dad was actually in prison for it, and her grandfather was too. So it was like she didn't want to know nothing about it. So when I was younger, there was no drinking in my family actually. And I just started hearing stories about my grandpa, and I decided to get into it later on in life.
So
I had to
go ahead.
I had to pick up the heritage back up again and start it up again.
Hey, you know, like it was there. Somebody's got to keep it going, or you know, and in some people's cases, they got to start a new heritage. So you know, it all happens for a reason, and you know, thankfully. You started it. So when you first started, what was your first still?
I just bought one of them cheap Chinese stills. What are they?
A Beaver? One of the Beavers. Nice.
And I just started messing around with it. The first time I done it, I decided to put strawberries in the thumper, but I filled it up about 3/4 of the way.
How'd that turn out for you?
And I see my whole keg start to swell up, going ooh ooh. And I see strawberries coming out, and I'm like, oh no,
too much back pressure, man. So I learned about putting too much liquid in your thumper during a cleaning run. You know, I just wasn't paying attention. I put way too much water, and I'm just steaming. It's blowing steam out of the pot, and it just will not push it through. And I'm like, man, something ain't right. And then I got to looking, like, dude, I had that thumper was over half full, and even if I'd have had it pasted shut, man, it just made me respect how much you put in that thumper. You know,
oh yeah, I learned real quick after that.
And then all the stories from the people we've had on here that talk about blowing a chunk of fruit up into their worm pipe and getting a clog.
Yeah,
I hear that more than anything. So I will not put fruit in my thumper that's not pureed. That way, if it blows up in there, it's going to puke. It won't clog it. And that's just something I do. Like all these stories I hear, like, man, I had a raisin get up in there. I had a
Blueberry.
grape pop up in there, a blueberry, burnt my shed down, or almost killed myself. So I just, whole fruit in my thumper makes me weary. So I'm like, look, man, if it's not a concentrate or an alcohol, and it's got to be fresh fruit, then I'm gonna puree the hell out of it.
Yeah, I like doing the. A lot of times I'll put a copper mesh. I'll just stuff it with copper mesh when I used to. After that, I didn't even put fruit in ever again.
Yeah.
You definitely need a bigger thumper for that.
Yeah. Like when you get with the infusion, like that's one thing those beavers just don't. They don't have the capacity.
Yeah.
And even when they come with a thumper, it's a very, very small thumper. And so it's more for just learning. It's more for just learning how the basics, how to distill and what to expect.
Yep. So, talk about the still you have now. How did that come about? And did you buy it somewhere? Did you build it yourself?
Well, my wife, I was building her island for the kitchen and with copper, and it's going to have a copper top on it. Well, they sent me one sheet that was bent up, so I called them back and I told them I guess it was a recording. I said, hey, you guys sent me a piece of copper that was bent, and that's for a countertop, and it can't be bent. So I decided, well, shit, nobody answered me back, so I called another number and I said, hey, you guys sent me a bad piece of copper. And the lady messaged me back, says, oh, we'll get one to you right away. Well, they sent me two of them. So those two pieces became my still. So it's like a 26-gallon still.
Nice. Had you ever built a still or had still building experience before then?
Oh no, I built a lot of race car body parts when I was racing, so I was kind of pretty good at doing metal work. I just kind of built a cardboard copy of it, and then I took the cardboard, used it for a pattern, and made the still.
Nice.
I mean, that's the way to go. That's the way to go about it before you go.
Yeah, I studied it, what to do to make it safe, the bottom safe, and it's not ever going to blow apart. The top's not going to come off.
So I'm assuming you just butt soldered the bottom.
What's that?
How did you do? Did you fold the bottom or did you butt solder it or?
Well, I took and I cut little V's in it, and every other one I put it one inside, one outside, one inside, one outside, and I kind of staggered them in there.
See,
and I had to get down in this still. It's really hard getting down in the still to do it.
I've got a thumper actually that's similar to that. It's like the V's, but they're cut to where they were. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were cut and they're bent inwards. So you take the bottom and push it down in it.
Yep.
And I'm assuming the guy soldered it around on the inside.
Yeah, I lucked out. I never had any leaks the first time I ran it. I was like, yes.
Hey, if it don't leak, leak.
It was fine. It never leaked that ever again. I mean, never. So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. If you could move a little closer, that might help. Down we went.
There.
Yeah, we can
you hear
hear
me
you.
better now?
Yeah, there's just something going on that we can hear.
We're just getting feedback.
I keep hearing the static come out somewhere.
Yeah.
Feedback.
It's probably out of my ears.
No, I muted you, Sean, and let's see. All right, there we go. It does crunching ice. We're shaking the ice over here, Sean. So, so you went on Master Distiller in the Battle of the States episode, and
yeah.
And so you was on there for the Battle of the States episode. It was Ohio, Alabama, and I watched it earlier. I totally forgot the other one. I want to say North Carolina or Tennessee. But when you went on there, you had used smoked red wheat. Had you ever used a smoked frame before that?
Oh yeah, I've done it here at the house, but I ran it with a thumper, and I never got a thumper on the show.
Yeah, I did notice that you never was able to get a thumper on the show. When you run that thumper, what do you do with it to try to pull some of that smoky out of the wheat? So it's not so much like a Scotch, because anytime it's smoky, man, it always Scotchy to me.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I never told anybody this before, but after I did my mash in, I found another bag of my corn sitting back behind all my stuff. It never actually got put into my grain build.
So you were supposed to have more corn than you had, which came down that wheat flavor.
Yep, I was supposed to add more corn to it. And I didn't find it. It was the flake maize that I had sitting there, and then I don't know how it got back there.
It happens, dude. I remember on there you guys were saying, like, man, I'm not used to time constraints. I'm not used to a timer, so I can imagine that there's some nerve-wracking parts about it that you're just not used to. So,
but I had that still built about 8 minutes, so after we went to the still room.
Yeah, oh yeah, like I remember you had the diamond helmet on there, and then you had some stainless, and you had that weird looking little mini shotgun and the parrot. It was cool, man. I mean, it wasn't as cool as JJ's. JJ's got the coolest still build on Master Distiller. I haven't seen anybody top his still build yet, but it was pretty nice. He definitely put together something real nice on there.
I thought it was kind of cool because, like, when they were in between the filming, they were like Mark and Digger, everybody got their camera out taking a picture of it. Like, all right, we ain't never seen this before. So they put it on their own phones.
a configuration, it's something new.
Yeah, something new. It actually worked. My water wasn't on at first when we first started running, and I had steam coming out of into my. They never showed this on this show, but the water was never turned on my condenser. So all of a sudden, I'm blowing steam out, and they went back and turned the water on, and finally it cooled down.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, y'all running the show, like turn the water on. I can't condense if y'all don't turn the water on. So that's wild.
So how did you go about getting on there? I mean, did they call you? Did you apply for it?
Well, I sent them in my family history, told them how I went back, and my grandpas were in trouble for it and did it for years. And then my great grandma on my dad's side, she used to sell it off her front porch, and she was actually related to Devil John Wright. There's a book out about him, and he was a sheriff and a moonshiner. And I just heard all these stories all my life about, my grandpa being shot off a horse for moonshine. And his great grandpa.
Sheriff was a moonshiner, huh? It's not a bad gig. It's not a bad side gig, like bust your competition and sell their shit.
Like, even after he passed away, my great grandma was getting it off somebody, but she was still selling it. She lived 104 years old, they said.
Moonshine's a secret.
Yep.
Keep you young.
Can't go wrong with it, that's for sure.
She outlived 5 husbands. Some of them stories I hear coming out from down there when my mom and dad grew up is crazy.
Oh, I bet.
So are you from here in Ohio, or?
I'm from here, but my parents, they're both from Fleming Neon, down southeastern Kentucky.
Okay. Well, I said there's a lot of liquor coming out of down there, so.
Yeah. They're in the mountain around here. We're all flatlands up here. It's all as flat as can be.
Yep, and one big long ass turnpike.
It's funny because
turnpike.
Where I'm at, people they come here and they're like, "Oh man, it's so flat here." I'm like, "Yeah, go like 50 miles north."
Yeah, it's wild where Sean, like when I leave my house to go to Sean's, because I'm right in the Miami Valley where the glacier dug it out through here, and we got the 5 rivers that come in, and so like we've got quite a bit of topography here, and then I got to Sean's, and it's flat and a little bit of hills, so It's like I got a little more aspect of rivers and waterfalls. You got a response there for
I do. Mr. Silkett, Flatlanders might not be able to make liquor, but that says an awful lot for them Tennessee boys.
Sean's got to start at State Wars. So, what's your favorite thing to make, Tim?
My favorite thing is just make some just plain old corn liquor is my favorite.
And how do you like your corn ground? Do you like it coarse, fine? Do you powderize it?
I like it like in between powder. I like it in between powder and fine. I don't like it too fine because it's too hard to get it to settle down on you.
Yeah. You ever grind it too fine and it break up on you?
Oh yeah. I don't like doing it that fine. I ordered a bunch of 50 pounds of grits one time, and I was gonna make a grits moonshine, and that was like the biggest mess I've ever had in my life.
I could see that, man.
It just turned up much, It's like what the hell?
Man, I should have tried 5 pounds of this first before I went and got all this. But you got all that shit. I imagine that you fought through it and turned it into liquor. So
yeah, it did. It was pretty good, but there was a lot that I lost because I couldn't get it out of the mush.
Mm-hmm.
So do you, when it comes to making your mash, do you cook your grain or do you steep it with hot water? Or do cold mashing?
I'll heat it up to about 175, 180, and then I'll just keep adding in a little bit at a time. And by the time I got it, it's like a big old thick thing. Then I put it in, and I have another one ready to dump in on top of it. So I let it cook probably 40, 45 minutes usually.
Okay.
What are you converting your corn with? Are you using barley? Are you using liquid enzymes? Are you using powder?
Yeah, I do the little bit of the barley, and I do a little bit of the amylase, the powder.
Nice. Do you like how that powder works for you?
Yeah. I just kind of I guess I just do that just to make sure I get it all up, get all the starches broke down.
You taking time to if you're gonna spend the money and you're gonna take the time to gelatize all that corn, then hell yeah, man, you want to convert as much out of it as you possibly can, because in the end, it's your money that you put into that, and you want it back. Whether you're giving it away as gifts or just making or experimenting. Like, look, man, I paid for this. I want everything out of it I could get.
Right, yeah. A lot of times I'll take the last little bit in each barrel and I'll take and mix them together, and then I'll run a different run on it because it seems like it's even got a different taste.
Oh yeah, you put all your ends together. So we did that with fruit. Like, we was making all these different types of wines. So everything at the end, every time we got to the end and it was left in a secondary, we took everything that we had and we dumped it in a big old barrel. And by the end of it, we had like 20 different types of wines in this barrel. And we just kept feeding it sugar every month and just letting it ferment over and over. And it was crazy. We called it our Dunder Pit, even though that's not really what it was called, but that was the name we had for it. And it was just wild. The wine, it was so dry and it was so complex. And then it didn't make it to the still because there just wasn't a whole lot of it. But it was really cool to watch that in action.
So have you, or either of you, I guess for that matter, made a brandy and then kept the fruit and dumped it over into your corn slop and fermented it again?
I did that with the peach and a rye that I did, and I didn't like it too much. It almost tastes like a sour mash brandy or something.
Yep. Sour mash, like super sour mash is what because that fruit's gonna sour a lot harder than corn does, a lot faster. So you'd imagine it's gonna rot and it's gonna be a lot stronger than that. So yeah, so Moonshine Bennett says he's doing that right now. I'm intrigued. You'll have to let me know how that turns out, Bennett.
What fruit you got, Bennett?
Apple and Jimmy Red.
That's gonna be pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm not a big sour mash person. I'm just never acquired the taste of the sour mash.
Me either. I do not like the taste of sour mash. I mean, not saying I won't drink it, you know, but like when you got a choice, man, you got a choice. You make it at home. It's like, man, I'm not gonna spend the time to make some shit I ain't gonna drink, or I don't like the taste of. You know, I don't like the taste of sour mash. Like if I'm doing support shine, you know, then you just corn and sugar. I'm going to use it at least 2 or 3 times because it doesn't get the real strong, you know, sour into it until you get past the 3rd generation. I can tolerate the first 2 because it's still more like just corn sugar with just a little bit. It adds a little bit more flavor. But when you get deep into it, man, it ain't my deal. I'm not a sour mash dude. So
nah. Everybody kept bugging me, wanting me to make some apple pie, so I made some vodka I've never made vodka. That's the first time I ever did. It was a couple weeks ago.
I ain't either.
Did you use potatoes?
I use baked potatoes and sugar and cane sugar.
Nice. How was that straining those potatoes?
It was rough
every time.
I asked that question to anytime somebody's like, I use potatoes, it's always my question at the end, like, how was it straining? And it's always the same answer, like, oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. Like if you have a choice and you want to do potatoes, have a jacketed still. It's just distill it with the potato slop in there.
I got these bags. They're called hash bags. They're used for like making bubble hash, and what they're like 8 different levels, different meshes, and you get them on like Amazon. And the first one's like a heavier mesh, and then as it gets towards the bottom, it strains it all out. So that helps out a little.
Yeah.
They're for like I guess they call it bubble hash bags is what they call them. But it definitely gets a different.
That's my what is bubble hash? Good question, Sokai. That's what I was thinking. Get out of my brain. What is bubble hash?
When they take cannabis and they put it into ice buckets and they stir it around and they run it through these bags, and as it gets down to the bottom, that's where your hash is, and takes all the other particles out of it.
Nice.
But it's good for like cleaning your mesh, your mash and stuff. It works really well.
Nice. A little bit of cannabis education. I told you I would learn some things from you this evening. You try to tell me I wouldn't. I knew I've learned a lot already. That's why I'm here, man. I love listening to people speak. So thank you, sir.
So what's your favorite fruit to make? Well, brandy, I guess.
I don't know. I did a watermelon last year, and it turned out really good, and it tastes like watermelon. I even took one over to Lawrence over at Flat Rock, and he messaged me the next day, and he goes, "Man, dude, that was good."
I haven't tried watermelon just because I had bad experiences with watermelon wine, so I'm real intrigued.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever done it. But I just used pure watermelon. I didn't put any water in it or anything. When I ate a bunch of watermelon my buddy gave me, so I just did that, and I made about probably 20 gallons of the mash of the watermelon.
Did you just from the watermelons? And would you cut them up, mash them? And
I dug all the red out. I didn't put anything else but the red juice in there and red meat.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, in my opinion. I've heard people putting rinds in there and everything, but I just don't see it. I mean,
hey, if I don't like to eat it, I ain't gonna put it in there.
Exactly.
You're damn right. Like if you bite it, it tastes like shit, man. Why would I want that in my brandy? So
right.
And that's just, I mean, it's common sense to me. Like, I hate cucumbers. I ain't putting one in my salad.
Yeah, I'm not a cucumber person.
I ain't putting one in my salad. If there is one in there, ruin the whole salad. It done leached all over the rest.
A cucumber? Man, throw some salt on that motherfucker and eat it.
Hey, blasphemy. You keep that nasty ass cucumber, man.
Hey, so I got another question, Tim.
All right.
What's the one thing you've always wanted to make but just haven't got to it yet?
That's a good question.
That's all I got, baby. It's all I got.
I really don't know. I've tried this. I've done tequilas, rums, and brandies, and grains, and I did a chocolate barley one time, all chocolate barley, and I'd like to do that again because that was when I first started distilling, and it almost tastes like a coffee liquor. It was.
I was going to say, I bet it tastes like coffee. Anytime it's chocolate,
Yep.
it tastes like coffee.
You know, one thing I've always wanted to try is
And
fermented jalapenos.
What is it?
Fermented jalapenos.
Oh, I done that once too, and it came out hot actually. After I ran it, it came out still hot even. I was like amazed. But it was a pineapple jalapeno. What I did,
dude. So go ahead.
Vince makes a mango habanero that is fucking amazing.
Superb. Yeah.
Yeah. He ain't in here, so I could give him a compliment. I'm sure he's off to bed by now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he ferments the mango and then puts the habanero in the thumper.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot from when people do heat. If they put it in the thumper, then a lot of the the capsaicin transfers through distillation. Yeah. Esters.
My son's getting ready to open a coffee shop. It's a Bigsby Coffee up in Sandusky, Ohio.
Did you say Bigsby or Rigsby?
It's Bigsby. It's almost like Bigsby. But he's gonna save all of his coffee grounds for me, and I'm gonna try doing a all coffee ground one to see what happens.
I bet that'd be pretty good.
We'll see. I'll let you all know because it's gonna happen here real soon.
Yeah, so we know a guy, he macerates beans in his coffee, and it comes out great. I mean, I don't like it because I hate coffee, but everybody else says it comes out great.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is disgusting. Like, I can't help it, man. It tastes like coffee. If it tastes like coffee, man, I'm going to tell you, like, bro, this is gross. So, I'll taste it, and I'll be like, man, the alcohol is good, but if this tastes like coffee, man, I'm going to let you know that I dislike this, and don't ever hand this to me again. But thank you for handing it to me because I appreciated it. So, I'm just not a coffee dude, man.
At the very least, you can appreciate the alcohol.
That's all I can appreciate from it is the alcohol. I can't appreciate nothing else after that. The smell, the taste, the aftertaste, nothing for me, man. It ain't my dig. But you like what you like, and that's the way it is. So that's how it should be.
They say they're gonna have like 30, 40 pounds a day of just grounds.
If you could, if you could turn that, I imagine you make good flavor. Add sugar to it, ferment it.
Yep.
So
we'll see.
Yeah, Patrick, we're ready for Alabama Moonshiners. Let us know when you want some Ohio guys to come down and make some guest appearances.
Yeah, I've done barrels when I take them out back and dump the whole damn barrel out because I didn't like the taste of it.
Yeah. Hey, man, sometimes you're going to make a ferment, dude, and you're just going to be like, no, I can't run this. It happens, It's usually what a scorch, like I said, I had a buddy. He scored some shit trying to get me to run it. And I was like, I went to siphon it over and was like, oh, my God, no. I can't, dude. We can't run this. And we dumped it out, and instead of running that day, we just drank.
Do I know who that buddy is?
You do. That's old son.
Yeah, that fucking 3-gallon pot I got back, that thing was burned all to hell.
He did. He let his boy mash for the first time. Kids are teenagers when they're young, when they're still interested in what you're doing. They get a little older, they don't care about what you got going on. And he let him mash, and he's like, "Got to row that boat, son." And he didn't row that boat enough, and he scorched the piss out of it. And he went ahead and fermented it, brought it over. He's like, "I scorched a little, it'll be all right." And so I went to siphon it over, man, and I put my mouth on the hose, and I'm just like, dude, just one pool of it, dude. And luckily, I was nothing went in the pot. And I'm like, we ain't running this, man. That's trash. And I'll get that taste of scorch in my brain every time somebody says scorch. Like, in my mouth. Oh god.
So I do got a question. You know, since we're in Ohio and it's starting to get cold out, do you have any experiences, Tim, with a? Well, I'll tell you what. What do you use to keep your barrels warm, and what did you use to keep your barrels warm with?
And did you have any issues along the way?
I know why you're asking that question. I think.
I don't, so I'm intrigued.
Well, I put a fish tank heater down in it a couple of years ago, and I dropped it all the way down into the grain in the bottom of the barrel.
Oh.
I woke up one morning and it actually caught the mash on fire. The grain underneath was burnt and burned a hole through the bottom of my barrel. So I got up and there's mash all over my garage floor.
If you use a submergible aquarium heater, make sure you keep it up out of your grain bed, because if you don't, it will definitely burn your mash, scorch your mash right to that aquarium heater, just like as if it was a heating element. Because essentially it's the same thing. It's just a heating element inside a tube of glass that's warming up your liquid. It's no different than if you had a heating element in your still and you kept it on 1 amp and kept it warm and you get grain on there, it's going to scorch. So if you're using an aquarium heater, man, keep it up out of your grain bed, or you're going to scorch it and you're going to ruin your whole mash.
See, I had go ahead.
It melted a hole, like legit. It melted a hole in your fermenter.
Oh yeah, and the bottom of the barrel was a burnt hole right through it. It was all over the floor, and I was like, there was about 6 inches of snow on the ground. I'm dragging it out through the yard trying to get it out of there. It smelled that garage up. I swear it smelled the garage up for 2 weeks. You can smell that in there. So last time I done that.
I bet sometimes when the weather's just right, you go out there, you still get a hint of it.
I'm gonna have to go back through our messages, Tim, and get the pictures and send them to Easy.
Oh, you know I want to see. You know I want to see, man.
The funny thing is, man. Well, I say a couple years ago, but now it's probably been about 5-6 years ago. I done the same thing, but it wasn't nearly as bad. It was just enough to burn the element or the heater. Yeah, the heater. I pulled it up out of there. I said, that motherfucker's all burnt to hell. And the funny thing is, where I got it, they took it. They do returns for 60 days. So I pulled that motherfucker out while I'm scrubbing that son of a bitch. It was 59 days, and I'm like, scrubbing the shit out of it. I took it in there, and they pulled it. The lady pulled it out. She's like, "My God, what's this smell?" I'm like, "I don't know. The motherfucker just quit working. I pulled it up out of the tank, and I don't know what the hell's wrong with it."
I don't know. I fucking come out, man. Goddamn thing's boiling. All my fish are stuck to it. They're burnt up. Like, that motherfucking fish stew going on over here.
And from that day forward,
me a piece of shit, you know?
Yep, I set it down in the hole, and I put a fucking brick on top of it to where it's just floating.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there ain't nothing worse than burnt mash. What it smells like. It's
yeah. It definitely, it's scorched. You know, it will burn your mash and it will ruin your whole pot, as if you burn it to the bottom of your pot when you're cooking it. You know, it's just that's the way it goes. So, before we get out of here, you had what was the you had the grass inside the liquor at Farm to Bottle, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
You had the, what was that, seagrass inside the liquor at Farm to Bottle? If I remember right, was that you?
It was him.
All right, I thought it was. Yeah, that shit was fucking amazing. Tell us about it, please. Like,
which one was it?
It had the grass in it. He had a jar. It had grass in it.
Oh, yeah, that was the bison grass. It's Indian sweetgrass or bison grass, they call it. But you take it when it's high proof, you put that down in your jar when it's high proof, and it's like draws all the oils and stuff out of the grass. But it you don't have to put anything in there but that piece of grass, and it flavors the jar.
But no, when I tried it, I was expecting, it's like grass, grass, like,
Yeah.
You ever eaten grass? You're expecting green, like green chlorophyll, like, I'm thinking like grass, like, man, this dude just grabbed a handful of grass from the yard and shoved it in here. I knew what it was, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you think. So I'm expecting it to be green tasting, like, how you taste the air when somebody cuts your grass. But dude, like, it had a sweetness to it that was wild. The sweetness that grass had in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When I was down there at the filming for the show, I had a jar of that there, and everybody kept wanting to try it again. Let me try that again. Let me try that again. And I wouldn't tell anybody what it was. And Jimbo, he was there with us too, because Jonathan was there. So Jimbo Bray was like, he goes, I thought you were going to use that grass on there. He goes, I said, I didn't get a chance.
Yeah, I wonder.
You soak it in there for about 2 weeks, and then you proof it down, and that's what it comes out to tasting like.
It was amazing. It was
So
thank you.
It was amazing.
I know Easy said something about before we get off here, but we kind of veered away from, well, between that and your connection, but we didn't really get into your experiences on Master Distiller. Talk a little bit about, some of the things that you've done, some of the people you met while you were on there, and was the experience what you thought it was going to be before you went?
Well, you know what? It really kind of sucked because it was during the COVID. So we had to test before we went. We had to test when we got there. We weren't allowed to go anywhere because everything was closed up. But I did get to meet Amanda and Jay. They were in the room next to us, and I got to meet Jimbo and Jonathan and I seen Tater sitting up on his porch a couple times. I didn't really get to meet Tater, but all the people is pretty much on it. We sat around the first part of the season, and we sat around and had a good time. But other than that, we really didn't get out and do anything because of the damn COVID.
Yeah. I know when we were there, they said do not go to Gatlinburg, and some fucking people went to Gatlinburg, and soon as I walked into the building, the very next day, they start ripping my ass. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, you guys are going to Gatlinburg? I said, no. I didn't go to Gatlinburg. I went to Pigeon Forge.
I was too fucking drunk to leave. What are you talking about?
Well, the thing was, so when I went down there, they said, do not go to Gatlinburg. I said, okay, well, there's plenty of fucking distilleries to go to in Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, you didn't say not to go to Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, well, fuck, you didn't say nothing about not going there. So, I went to King's. I went to Severe Distilling Company. Fuck, I don't even remember where. Any place I could find.
Anywhere.
Anywhere
it had liquor.
Just to see how they run vodka, because at that point, I was just fucking winging it. I didn't know.
Never run vodka before, so you're down there trying to, get some on-hands knowledge. Like, how do you do it, man? What's your secret? And they're like, just run it 1,000,000 times through 4 million plates.
Well, the funny thing is, I went to I can't remember, but then I went to King's, and they said go over to Severe Distilling Company because they actually run it. Because a lot of places down there just source it.
Yeah, it's so much cost effective just to source.
I wish like hell I could find a distiller that worked there named Chad at the time, because I went in there and we got to talking. He was like, "What are you down here for?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I'm doing something, with McGilla." And he goes, okay, you gonna be on Moonshiners? I said, well, no, not Moonshiners, Master Distiller. And that's when I found out that Mike Cockrell actually worked for the Severe Distilling Company, because he said that he was their old distiller. Yeah, but anyway, I wish I could get a hold of him so I could get him on this fucking show, because he was a real nice guy, and he gave me all kinds of shit. He's like, here, man, take this, take that. And that's when I found out they use Saf Instant there. Nice. The bread yeast as well. Yeah, it was cool.
It's cool when you see big distilleries use things that you use. Like, man, that's cool. Or just other people in general.
So Tim, what's your do you have a yeast go to, or do you kind of jump around, or
do I what? Say that again.
So as far as yeast goes, do you have a certain one that you use like for all grain, or do you just kind of jump around with different kinds of yeast, or what?
I usually do the corn and barley. I stick to that. I just don't like the rye at all myself. And I've done like apple brandy rye with rye in it. Last winter I done one of those, and it didn't taste bad in the apple brandy. But there's I don't know, there's a taste about rye I don't like, but I just usually do a corn and barley.
So what kind of yeast do you like to use?
I use daddy's yeast in my grains, and I use the like a champagne yeast in my fruits.
Nice little yeast,
And I'll use a bread yeast in my rums, like the bread yeast that you get in the store, like what is it?
So Fleischmann's.
Yeah. I use that in my rums.
Nice. Little something different for everything, Everything's got its place. And it's cool that throughout the years you found what works best for you for this and that, and that's what you like. So
I think rum's one of my favorites to do, though. I mean, you can do
How
so
come?
much different. You can do so much different stuff with rums.
you like it clear or spiced?
Yeah.
But you like spice? You like it spiced, or you like keeping it clear?
Oh, if somebody wants it spiced, I tell them how to do it. And they can do it. I don't want to do that.
It's a lot of work, just a little spice. Just keep it clear, man.
Well, that's what I like. The clear is the best. You do what you want with it here.
Yeah.
So as far as running a still, do you prefer to run it one time with a thumper, or do you prefer to do a strip and run and rerun, or what?
A lot of times I'll do it straight off the still, no thumper or anything, and I'll do that with the corn, and it usually comes out where it gets more flavor that way.
What proof do you average that way?
Usually the first jars come off about 140, 145. Then it works its way down about every jar. It works its way down about 5 to 10 proof all the way down.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you run it all the way down and get your tails and everything, or do you cut off, say, 90 proof or 100 proof?
I shut mine off usually right around 90 proof, but I keep running it and save the rest for later on is what I do. I always keep that in like separate jars and keep it away from everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I think the tails taste worse than the head sometimes.
Yeah, you get that old nasty cardboard flavor. At least with the heads, it's like rubbing alcohol. I've drank Everclear. My heads taste like Everclear.
But in the tails, there's still good alcohol there, though, too.
There is. Yeah.
A lot of people will save all their tails and just do a tails run, or a queen's run, as I believe Shua calls it.
Yeah.
I used to just throw it all out. I used to throw it out at the end, not even bother with it. But then I said, well, that's like throwing away free alcohol,
Yeah, it's throwing away shit you worked for, Like, you figure, like I cut off at 90, so from 90 to 10, that's all future. That's all futuristic money,
Oh yeah.
Even if it ain't money, that's futuristic product, or something to help you later on, or if you need to make a flavor list, like
that's 90 proof you're throwing away.
Yeah, and realistically, if you're running a 50-gallon drum, that's 5 to 10 gallons of tails that you could pull out of that and save. Like everything has its place, man. And I can't see like, man, all I gotta do is slide this 5-gallon bucket under here and go watch TV. I collect some tails.
Well, there was one guy that he's a buddy of mine, and I've known him for quite some time, and he said what he did was he'll cut it off and he'll save his heads in one you say barrel, and then tails in another, and then he'll do now he don't use the thumper, or didn't use the thumper, but he would run 90% tails and 10% heads, and he would get very high proof that way.
Now I've done it to where I've saved, like, I just put it all in the tailspin. Everything just goes in the tailspin. The heads and the tails all go in that bin, and I wait till the keg is full or enough to do a whole run, and then I'll run it through a thumper, put a little bit of water in the thumper just to try to help clean that tailsy flavor out of it, and it comes out pretty good. And then it's a little bit more flavorless, so it's good for making because I would never take a brandy and make apple pie with it. To me, that's blasphemous.
Unless you're Matt LeMaster.
Yeah, Masters. You're lucky you're not on here. If I went to Pigeon Forge, and even tell us he was going.
But one thing I would like to try is what you're talking about, the heads and tails, and run it through an activated charcoal filter a couple times, and just to see how well it cleans it up, or if at all.
So take your tails and dump it through a Brita filter, right? And watch the oils come through that Brita filter still. It's crazy just to watch it. Those oils go through that Brita. Because you think all of certain things you put in there, it really cleans it up. So it's wild to watch those oils make it through that filter. But yeah, I see what you're talking about with the activated charcoal and just seeing how the different flavor. But that's what some distilleries do. They'll take those tails and they'll run it through activated charcoal filters, coal filters, and then they'll use it to make apple pie and things like that. So
that's one thing I've learned recently, especially with vodka after the show and everything, of meeting all the people that I have through that, is the best kept secret when it comes to vodka is that filter. Because if you think about it, if you constantly keep filtering it, how are you going to tell it ever hit 190 proof?
Well, see, I learned about vodka was like, it's only what you was talking about when he's talking to Tuck, like, man, it's just got to come off at 190. Comes off at 190. Everything after that's still vodka. You came off at 190, save it.
Right.
But just like you see these high expensive vodkas, they'll be like, 13 times filtered. And then you go get some Walmart vodka off some Chamkata or whatever it is. And I don't think they filtered that one time. And that takes time and that's money. And I think that's one of the biggest differences between great vodka and cheap vodka is how much time they put running it through a filter, because they're going to get paid for their time. So it's going to be better.
Yep.
Yeah, I put one on my Facebook page the other day of vodka and it said 20 times distilled. And I'm like, oh, come on.
Plate.
So
yeah, they're counting the plate as distilling, but I mean,
yeah.
In a way it is, but in a way it's not.
It's not a full, it's not a full, but it's kind of that gray area. I call it a distillation, even though it's not a full distillation.
Speaking of that, yep, Thomas. So the guy that was on my episode, he does that sweet potato vodka, and that's his that and Tuck and Red's sweet potato vodka is the best I've had. And he runs it through, I think he said 20 plates, 20 or 21 plates.
Crazy, right? You'll see a lot. You'll see some of these places. They'll do a stripping run through 10 plates.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll do a spirit run through 10 plates. And it's like, there's no flavor. But I guess if you're shooting for vodka.
It takes everything away from it all.
They see.
I've only made vodka like one time, and that's it. I've just kind of stuck with the grains and the fruits.
Them damn potatoes will turn you away from ever wanting to do vodka again.
Well, and I want to give a shout out, kind of. You talk about potatoes and vodka. I didn't know when I got chosen for Master Distiller to do the vodka episode. I didn't know it, but Alan Bishop actually told me that vodka is not only made with potatoes. I didn't know that because I never really drank it.
Yeah, like Tito's is corn based.
Yep.
You could taste it in their vodka that they're.
Yep. And he said that red wheat is a great base for vodka. And when he said that, I said, okay, I'm going to use white, just so you know. Because, I didn't want, I took advice, but not really take advice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that again, Tim. I'm sorry.
You used the red wheat on your show, right?
I used white wheat malt.
Malted white. It's so strong.
Yeah.
The wheat is so strong. I like it. Like, it's my dig.
I think it's, but I think it's different because when we did at Sugarlands, we had everything. We had the time, and we had the equipment to convert everything. Right. So I didn't add sugar. we converted all the wheat, so I think we got a lot more flavor from the wheat than I originally did from the show.
I think it being malted definitely
Mhm.
threw a stronger oomph right in your face, and I like that. I like the wheat. That's my jam.
Hey Sean. Hey Sean. So how big of a run did you do while you were down there for the Master Distillers?
750 gallon.
750. What was your return on that?
You stripped that, didn't you? You did a strip, and then you did a spirit.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that after we get off here, because
Okay.
I don't know exactly what they
What you allowed to tell about what happened?
yeah. I mean, but it was good. I think total jars that went on the shelf, there was 1,128 jars.
Yes,
How many of those did you get?
I got total about 14 cases.
Oh wow, nice.
But
I bought.
Yeah.
I bought. They give me 6 jars, one case.
They gave me shit about selling me more than 24 jars. I was kind of upset about that. A lady wasn't with me, so I couldn't be like, well, she needs 24 too. So,
Yeah.
Good times.
But it's been an hour and 16 minutes. I'm sure everybody's wondering what the fuck's going on, and they're probably getting ready for bed. So
it's all good. He said, hey, Joe, man, you messing with that red wheat, man. Wheat goes a long way. So just remember that.
I've never messed with red, but anyway.
A little wheat goes a long way.
Just like
I like it, so put it all in there. That's me, but all right. Well, we appreciate everybody hanging out. We apologize for the issues, but we had a good time. It was good. Blame Sean. Sean's equipment messed up everything. We're blaming Sturge tonight. This is your fault, Sturge. Sturge.
But Tim, when we back out of here, don't get off yet.
Yeah, don't leave yet. We're gonna talk shit about somebody. We're gonna talk shit about SoCot. That's what we're gonna talk shit about.
Every time.
Every time. So but anyways, we love all y'all. We appreciate you tuning in. Tim, we really appreciate you being here. So we hope everybody
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Has a great night. I'm watching that right now, SoCot. So we'll be back Monday. I would tell you who's going to be here. I have no idea. Maybe Sean knows right off.
Mm-hmm.
If not, he'll make a post. And we'll see y'all next Monday. Everybody have a great week. If you want to come to my birthday party this weekend, we're going to be in Dayton, Ohio. And, we're going to kick off Saturday around 7:30. We're going to party all night. There's going to be a lot of guys here. We're not running liquor or anything like that. We're just going to hang out, chili and cornbread. So if you're by the 70-75 interchange in Ohio Saturday, show up. We're going to have a good time. We're going to shoot the shit, talk liquor. It's going to be a great time. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to bring me a gift, but shiny things are always much appreciated, especially when it's a jar lid with liquor in it. So we love all y'all. Have a great night. Yeah, we'll see y'all later. Shine on.
Hey, thanks.